What are the questions again? Was that okay? Good morning. I'm Rick Rieder, Chief Investment Officer at Global Fixed Income at BlackRock. It's the week of July 13th. Here are 3 things you need to know, and 1 you don't. First up, if inflation stays sticky, people have to think about, okay, I own a couple of assets that I got to be careful about. Long bonds and equities. Equities, you've got upside. As long as their cost infrastructure stays down and as long as productivity kicks in. The other one is long bonds. Markets will put some pressure on long bonds if inflation ends up being higher. Talk about yields that are mid-low single digits. I like staying in the short end of the curve and, quite frankly, investing internationally where you don't have as much of that inflation transmission. Next up, because you've got an economy that's growing, how the Fed looks at that growth, that's going to be really important. I personally think you can allow that growth to continue because it'll allow for higher levels of employment. So I think the Fed should be tolerant of better growth data. My view is, particularly when the debt burden in the U.S. is so high, you need to allow for a stronger level of growth. We need to allow for more people being hired, for the system to breathe. Which brings us to going into the summer, fall months. It tends to be a little more volatile. Income continues to be a winner. I still think it's going to be a winner. I think one of the things we're going to think about, you reduce a little bit of your growth risk, the assets that are a bit more volatile, you hold that income into the fall, and then as you get to the tail end of the year, you start to reverse that a little bit. Seasonals matter. I always think that they are quirky. Everybody knows what it is, but they tend to follow it. And the one thing you don't need to know. We have coming up the Open. It's always one of the most fun tournaments to watch. It's always fun to watch the quirky nature of the weather. I'm a big fan of Rory McIlroy, and I'm riding with the leader. To get more 3+1 and stay up on everything you need to know and some things you don't, make sure to follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube. We'll see you next week.
投资一定有风险，基金投资有赚有赔，申购前应详阅公开说明书及投资人须知。